shit's gonna be all right. But also that we gotta keep pushing for everybody else in there, because we're the reflection. The brothers that aren't able to come home right now, that help us get to where we're at. Everybody always think like, you know, that we're exceptional people because we made it out. Now we're the norm. You gotta give them a chance, bro. You know what I mean? You see us, you know, succeeding or doing whatever it is and conquering challenges left and right, but it's the people that helped us get here that they ain't seeing.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a few guests with me today. So what I'm gonna do is go around the room, have you introduce yourself, tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself. We'll start with you.
My name is Swinks, also known as Swinkels Laporte. I am from Springfield, Mass. I am a migrant from Haiti. I came here in 1994. I'm what they considered a emerging adult, meaning that I went in at incarceration at the age of 17, prior to being 18, and I did 16 years in prison for a home invasion that led to a homicide. Since I've been home, I've been participating in higher education. Just finished doing a certificate program with a couple of the guys in here from TUFTS University. I work for an organization called Sprintum, which is a social wellness lab that deals with people who are system affected, that's been through incarceration. And we just help them navigate the social and emotional aspects of things. And we also have a diversion programs for the youth that deals with leadership and entrepreneurship skills.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
On you. Let's go.
All right, so my name's Kentel Weaver to be exact. I'm from Roxbury, Boston. Same thing. Juvenile life, emerging adult, whatever you want to call it. I went to jail when I was 16, got out when I was 35. So I've been out for about 17 months now, like somewhere around 17 months. And I've just been going on my whole little reentry process, and it's been like, you know, a struggle. It's easier said than done, you know what I'm saying? I feel like when you're in there, a lot of people talk about the reentry process. Or you just have like this idea of what you're gonna do, and you get out like, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get this job, wrong. Like nothing goes, nothing goes according to plan, and then you pay him in Omaha, you go into Omaha mode, and then you trying to like regroup. So yeah, I'm just like on a little reentry journey. I'm in my turn, right? Well, I wasn't my turn. I graduated with him, like you just said.
Hey, congrats. That's
like an 8-month program, and you go there, you do the digital literacy. You take on 4 classes in total, and it's 14 credits if I'm not mistaken. It's through TUFTS University. I was doing a TUFTS University degree program while I was in there. It's a 3-year degree program. I ended up finishing with the associate's degree. And I came home too early before I completed the bachelor's degree, but now that I completed the My Turn program, just now it gave me 14 more credits, and I got like 20 left to get a bachelor's degree, and I'm gonna start taking classes in the fall. So yeah, after 19 years, I've been all over.
Absolutely. Well, welcome home, and last but not least,
Everybody knows me as Brazy, Kevin Keel. I'm from Lynn. I'm a juvenile lifer too. I just got out on Valentine's Day, did 16. I got my degree while I was inside from Emerson Prison Initiative. Got hired by Transformation Prison Project. So I start Monday, and I get to still continue the work I've been doing inside, you know, that helped change my life. You know, doing my best to stay present, you know what I mean? And seeing the fellas out here, you know, navigating through all the craziness of just being an adult, you know what I mean? As us going in as kids, bro, it's like, adulting is hard, bro. You know what I mean? You're so busy, like, looking forward to what you're gonna get out on the streets, you know what I mean? And like, you're just trying to figure it out, but it's like, how do you ask the right people for help? You know what I mean? Because you can always ask for help, but like, who's the right people? And it's like, you know, the fellas that are already out here, you know, grinding and trying not to get distracted, because out here there's mad choices, mad options, and there's mad things to see and view. But you know, I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here with y'all, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Thanks again and for coming through and welcome home. So how important is it to be out and then be able to be in a group setting with people who have been through similar situations? I mean, Brazy, if you want to get into that.
It's dope, bro. Like every time I see bro, man, it's like, it brings so much happiness to me, because like the other day I was with my man, and he's just driving. We stop at Dick's Sporting Good. He's like, yo, bro, we're really out. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta pay attention to the red lights, bro. Like everyday things aren't everyday things to us. You know what I mean? Any little interaction, we going back in.
Yeah.
Then we gotta go in front of a parole board and all this nonsense, you know what I mean? Like, but just to have the community, like, and just to see each other, like, smile out here, because we know all of us are going through some things, man. The love when we see each other, it's just, it just lets you know, right, that shit's gonna be all right, but also that we gotta keep pushing for everybody else in there, because we're the reflection. The brothers that aren't able to come home right now, that help us get to where we're at. Everybody always think like, you know, that we're exceptional people because we made it out. Now we're the fucking norm. You gotta give them a chance, bro. You know what I mean? You see us, you know, succeeding or doing whatever it is and conquering challenges left and right, but it's the people that helped us get here that they ain't seeing. Yeah. And the people that are out here today that are still helping us that they ain't seeing. They just think we're self-made, like we're not. Like I'm gonna speak for myself, I'm not.
Right.
Because I don't know what the bro's gonna say, but I'm not. Like I'm wearing my bro's name on me all the time. Like this is my brother that, you know, that society said ain't worthy or redeemable. But he helped shape who I am today. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Why don't you talk a little bit about why you wanted to come up here today?
I just feel like it's a good platform. Like I've definitely been following you. I've been watching. So I was like, let me give y'all a different perspective on what can come from out of there. Because I feel like there's only this misconception, like there's only one type of person that's coming out of prison and this super gangster, aggressive, violent. No. No, that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not all of us. And it's like, and that's not even a downplay the next man or any of that. Like you on whatever type of time you're on. But what we're doing is a little bit different, man. I always say we trying to change the definition of cool. That's my thing. Like, all right, we did all that other stuff. We done gang bang, ripped and ran the streets. We did all of that. And that didn't work. He did 16 years, he did 16. Right. I did 19, damn near 2 decades. And it's like, yeah, that didn't work. So let's try something different now. And it's like, it feels great, man. We out now, and it's like, you know, with the conditions of parole, like, oh, y'all can't be around each other. There's all these limitations and restrictions that they put on us. And so, like, when we in academic settings or we in settings like this and we're doing positive things, they be for it. But it at least gives us, I would hate to, like, get out and not be able to kick it with some of these dudes that I built with while I was in there, because these dudes became, like, my extended family. Some of these dudes, I look at them like they are family, you know what I'm saying? Right. You can't choose family, but at the same time you can. Right. So it's like, that's what I did, man. I built my family while I was in there, man. These dudes was part of it. Yeah. So it's like, it's good to be out, and we all doing the same thing. We doing the TUFTS My Turn. He's doing EPI. They going to Emerson College. We got brothers in BU. Is it BC or BU?
BC.
BC, all right, bro. Hey, yeah. Noradine in BC. So it's like, that's what we on, man. We infiltrating all these little spaces that they said we wasn't worthy of, or all these little spaces that they felt like we ain't belong in. So we try and change all of that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's my end game.
Cool. Same question to you. Why did you feel it was important to come up here, talk a little bit about your story?
Yeah, so this was like kind of a late notice. A brother invited me to. He said, hey, you know, I was like, what's the name of the podcast? So I just happened to check it out. And I was like, absolutely, I want to be a part of this conversation about, you know, returning citizens and some of the experiences that we had. And I think it's good that we start to change the narrative a little bit on, you know, prior to, you know, us filming. It was like, you know, let's stop glorifying like this culture that it's become, that you're in the streets and you're a street guy, and we know that the next promotion for you is to actually go to prison. And we try to highlight all the good things that's happening within prison. Like, oh, I'm here with X, Y, and Z from my neighborhood, or I did a bid and I'm come home and I have status now, because we're all looking for some type of acceptance. But it's like, now that we're having this experience and we've been through it, we could kind of come back and be like, wait, hold on.
This is what really happened.
There was some moments that was things that, you know, camaraderie and you know, brothers are going through things together, and we're overcoming those struggles, and we're growing together and maturing. We could highlight those things, and we found higher education. You know, we found a sense of purpose. We found a sense of self. However, there's things about prison that needs to be highlighted when we're talking about the psychological things that it's done to us, that we're not really highlighting and saying, hold on, bro, before you decide to enter this street code or this street realm or this culture, this is what you're going to be dealing with psychologically, and it's going to affect you a little bit more than you really think. That's not being said, number one, on TV, podcasts, and music. You know, it's not highlighting what it's doing to you psychologically, and it's also not highlighting to you how it's deteriorating your family structure and the community structure in large. So this is the reason why I felt like it's imperative that I joined Brazy and my brother Kentel to really highlight those things that really are not being popularized and spoken about.
Yo, and I don't think people know, like, understand, like, how conflicting it is. Like, when you come from it and when you are it. When you come from it and when you are it, like, it's in you. It's in you. Like, and then you gotta, like, reprogram yourself, like, to not react how you was accustomed to reacting. So it's like, it's literally a whole process that I was at war with myself, bro. When I say at war with myself, I was literally at war with myself about, like, certain actions I couldn't take. Like, you know what I'm saying? Certain people come around, if X, Y, and Z happen, damn, I can't even. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's like heartbreaking. Like, it's easy to be like, I feel like what a lot of people, you can just easily leave gangbanging alone and leave that street shit alone, and that, no, like, it don't work like, and that's a discussion me and him used to always have, because it's something that people used to always say, like, oh, yeah, y'all from that, you of that, but yo, you could just leave it alone, fall back from, like, nah, man, it's not that easy. You gotta understand, like, these is like day one individuals. These dudes out in the sand, but these dudes out like in the mud with, like, mud brother type shit. So it's like, yo, that's tough to go against that. That's tough to go against that. You going against your internal constitution, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's one thing to try to put a certain life behind you too and all that, but other people don't always look at it that way too. There's things that you might have done in the past that some people, it's still gonna affect you today. You still gotta move a certain way, even when you're trying to do the right thing.
That's a fact.
Cause, like, thinking about it, like bro said, in this, like, no matter how much we've changed, the people we've affected, it hasn't. You know what I mean? Their harm, no matter how much we can ask for forgiveness, in the day, we know how it was to be in that space. You know what I mean? And it's like, everything we went through, all the, you know, transformation we had in there, that shit's all in theory, bro. And coming out here and being able to be like, yo, how do I apply this? How do I make it applicable? How do I make it practical? Like, we can't even go to some of our hoods. It's not because that, yo, we're scared of, you know, what's gonna happen to us. It's we're scared of what we can do. Not to say that we're really about that, but we just know where we can take it. And then we did bids before. It was nothing to us. Not to say, like, you know, that shit wasn't like Swing said, it was psychological shit, but the fighting and all that, the box trips, nothing. What really was getting to our brains, bro, is not being able to call our family, not making canteen, not getting the letters when we were supposed to get them, you know what I mean? People passing away and you can't go see them, you know what I mean? Or lying to our families, our loved ones, that saying we all right when we're not. Or making up lies to say, yo, don't come visit me because I'm in the box with a black eye, I just got trashed, you know what I mean? And these things, bro, you're just sitting there, and then, or with your mans, and they just lost somebody, and you don't know what to say, but you're just sitting there, bro. That shit fucks with you psychologically, bro. And I see how people can lose themselves and they start doing all these other things, bro, and becoming somebody they're not, because in the joint, it's crazy. I met so many people that recreated themselves. I'm like, bro, I was just on the breaks with you. We grew up together. Like, you sure that's who you are today, bro? And I'm like, you know what? I love you, you my mans. Just do that, but you just don't do that around me, please. And the same thing when they come out too. I'm like, I know you, bro. Why? And why are you lying to the young boys? They look up to you. You're not gonna go spin. You're telling them to do it. And that's why, like, for me, to go back to Lynn, it's kind of like deadly in the sense where it's not the dudes my age that's gonna do anything to me. It's the young boys. They've been out here longer than me. They got a hold in the streets. I don't know how they look like. At the end of the day, it's like, so it's just like, why would I put myself in that situation when I know I have to get my bros out? Because I'm a reflection of them. I have to be extraordinary. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I have to. You know what I mean? I hold myself to a higher standard. And, you know, like, every day is a struggle. Like, I'm over here like, yo, damn, why is it like so hard? But I'm like, it's a blessing for it to be hard. Because at the end of the day, if I can't enjoy it for myself, I gotta enjoy it for them. Because they want me to be happy. They need me to be happy. For them. You know what I mean? It shit kills me every day when I wake up like, damn, bro. I can't go tell them when something good happens to me or something bad happens. But I got my bros out here, like, yo, I hit them up. We all together, like, yo, bro, don't be a stranger. Here's what's up. But it's like, damn, you know, like, when you love somebody, you really don't want to burden them with your shit. But it's like, who else do we got than us, you know?
Absolutely. And anything worth having is always going to be hard, so embrace the hard. If you're doing something hard, it means you're usually doing something right. You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about, is it hard to try to do these positive things in such a negative place? Is that hard for you guys? Did you struggle with that?
I gotta answer that first. For me, nah, because no bullshit. I was always smiling. I don't know why. There was something wrong with me. I already knew that off the rip because I had a natural off top.
Yeah.
They sentenced me, you know, to a natural life sentence that it changed in 2014. But when it changed, it was like a paper through my door, under my door. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're eligible for parole. I was like, yeah, right. I'm out here gangbanging stuff. Fuck you talking about? Threw that shit right out the door. But I always had a smile on my face because, like, growing up, I always knew that, like, with all my bros, like, we all had it hard, you know?
Yeah.
But like somebody had to be the one to make everybody laugh, and that was just me, just the goofball. And then in the joint, I felt the same way because I was always the youngest. I was the baby. Everybody took care of me, so I was way luckier than most that came in and got, like, you know, taken advantage of. But I'm there with all my older men from my hood, and they were always just taking care of me. Like, yo, Brazy, stop crashing out, and they let me crash on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they were always there for me, and I just realized, like, yo, you know, I gotta do something, give back. I ain't had no bread or nothing. I ain't not contribute any other way. I'll crash, but I'll get my ass whooped more than likely. But I just make everybody laugh. You know what I mean? I was smiling, no bullshit. Like, I was just talking to Spit about it. Like, I think about some of my happiest moments in my life. It was in the joint, bro.
Yeah.
It was with my bros on my birthdays, their birthdays. You know what I mean? It was just in the box, just laughing through the doors, like, you know. But I'm like, damn. Is it sad that that's my happiest space? Nah, I still live my life in there. I grew into who I am today because of that. You know what I mean? So, like, it is negative for some people, especially it takes a lot of will and constitution or whatever it is to like succeed in there for us, because that shit's dark. That shit's definitely dark. But I think in some of the darkest places and like the most chaos, you know, like there's always a light, a beacon, you know, there's always order, and it just starts with one. And it just expands, you know what I mean?
So talk a little bit about how hard it is to get a sentence like that. When you hear that life, what sets in, man? Or does it not kick in immediately?
No, that shit didn't kick in for me for a couple of years, bro. It didn't
feel real.
And the thing is too, I went in so young that it didn't even kick in until, like, it didn't really hit me until like 2018 was when I was like, yo, I can get out. But it was just because in 2016 is when my life changed. I went to Concord. I started doing programs by accident. I got to college by accident.
Nice.
Oh, dog. I met Spit over there. And by accident. Everything just happened by accident. Oh, dog. And then my people was like, yo, how you staying out of trouble? I was like, I'm really not trying to, but it's just like,
it's just
when you're doing the right thing, it's just,
energy.
But for me, it didn't, and that's probably why it kept my mental, I guess, in a sense of like just, like in the right mind. But also, it was one of the old heads too, older lifer dude came up to me, like 2000, I think like 11. He's like, yo, Brazy, what up? He's like, what are you gonna do to keep your sanity? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you're doing natural right now. Like, what are you gonna do to keep your sanity? He's like, you don't gotta answer me now. I'm like, that shit fucked me up.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, shit. I forgot.
He knew it was coming.
I was like, old heads get crazy in here too. I was like, yo.
He's like, oh, you think this shit's sweet?
Yeah, fact.
He's seen it.
Yep.
It was years of seeing that shit unravel, or seeing a person that was normal, and then you see him 5 years later, 3 years later, and you're like, hold on, this ain't the, you know what I'm saying? I see a person's psyche just unravel, and they just go into this deep abyss, and it's like, yo, you know they ain't coming back.
Right.
Yeah. You know they ain't
Does that
coming
start
back,
to make
bro.
you think about your mental health and what could possibly happen?
That shit breaks your heart, bro. We done seen mad of fellas do that.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of people transform, and it's just like, because you're such in an abnormal space and environment, it's just like, how else do you expect somebody to really behave, right?
Yeah.
Or evolve into? Like, you would hope that everybody would come out like how we've done, where it's just like, you're keeping your sanity to the most part, to the best of your abilities, until you're here and you're like, okay, I got a little bit of things that I got to go talk to a therapist about. But for I won't say the majority of people, you have that other side of the population where it's just like a person comes in with a little bit of his faculties, then he starts to dwell on a life sentence and what that really looks like. And you can't put it into words. right? And you can't be like, oh, it looks like, what does life in incarceration looks like?
I know, right?
Like, you know, and it didn't hit me until I came home, and I'm having experiences with an iPhone, and I'm going to the seaport, which I've never been to, because I'm from Western Mass. So now I'm like, I'm traveling to the seaport, I'm going to different restaurants, and I'm seeing my mother, like, when I see my mother's aging,
Yeah.
like it's one thing when you're going through the phases in prison, you're just like, Mom, you getting older. But now I'm looking at her on her couch, and I'm like, my mother's old. Like, she's sick, like, and my father's old through all his sicknesses that I've been hearing about. But hearing and seeing is two different things.
Right.
And now I'm seeing 16 years on his face. And now I'm just like, I'm trying to quantify that by saying, this is what life looks like. Like, I probably never would have been able to experience that. Seeing the 16 years of aging on my mother's face or on my father's face, or not having the ability to be in an experience of being in an adult relationship or going to higher education. Now when I'm starting to have these experiences day in and day out, I'm just like, oh, that's what life looks like.
Okay. So why don't you, being probably my first guest from like Western Mass, just talk a little bit about Springfield and what that was like growing up and what people might not know.
Tough.
413. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean,
Stand up.
Yeah, 413 is my city, man, and I love it. You know, home of the Hall of Fame. You know, and there's other things about Springfield that people don't want to highlight. You know, from the area that I was predominantly hanging out, is the McKnight area, and the McKnight area was at one time considered to be like a Black Wall Street. A lot of the people from the South was moving up there to that section, and it's actually a historical site. So Springfield has a lot of, you know, things that Malcolm X actually visited Springfield, and there's actually a tribute to him in one of the streets. There's a plaque that's designated for Malcolm X. So these things are overlooked because of some of the conditions that us system-affected people are placed in, and we like to highlight some of the negativity. It's just like every inner city that you see in America that's deplete of resources and opportunities. So you're gonna have violence, and you're gonna have people, like when you talk about cannibalism, and everybody's so deprived, right? When you have this deprivation that's going on in your city, and we don't really know how to get out of it, you really start making everybody else in your city a soft target. And you really start trying to figure out, like, man, I'm so stressed. How do I dump all this trauma and this adverse experience really outside of myself?
Right.
And you start seeing it, like, happen to other people. And Springfield is no different from any other inner city in that regard. But growing up, I've seen it. You know, they consider Springfield to be one of the dangerous places in Massachusetts. I was actually scrolling through I think like IG or something.
Instagram.
And I seen Millie's. And he said, oh, somebody asked him about Springfield, and he said, oh yeah, that's the trenches. And I started laughing. I was just like, it really is. And I'm just like, well, let's really unpack that. Because then what happens is, you know, even for myself, just to kind of feel like, you know, we're somebody, or you know, you always want to kind of be like, yeah, you're going to take the negativity and try to make it positive, right? Because for so long, you're trying to basically, we've been pushed to the corner. It's just like, man, we have so much to offer, but the only thing that keeps being highlighted is the negative stuff that people keep hearing about Springfield. Like, oh, there's so many murders going on, and it's underfunded, and it's low income, and the school systems are depleting or deteriorating. And that's the things that they want to highlight. It's like, well, shit, they're gonna keep saying that about us, then nigga, we really lit.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we bust our gun. Yeah, we do that only because it's circumstantial. It's because we're boxed into a situation by, you know, the system, and we're affected by it. And this is what we resort to. You know what I mean? But Springfield, man, it also has its good things. But we have talented basketball players.
Absolutely.
We have, to my opinion, people may not agree, some of the smartest people that come out of Springfield. Gwen Eiffel, before she passed away, she used to work for one of those TV on PBS. She used to work. She was like a news anchor. Come out of Springfield. So there's a lot of people that come out of talent. Travis Best. It's coming out of Springfield. So we have a lot of talent We have a lot of sophisticated individuals. We have some good schools as well. Like, but that stuff, even with me growing up, it's like it's hard to see over that dark cloud.
No,
even for myself, it's kind of like it's hard, bro, to see over that dark cloud. Because I know, like, okay, we have AIC, we have Springfield College. Like, we have some of these, even UMass Amherst.
It's right there.
It's just like, but it seems so far away to get sometimes to that, to those things that are positive. When you have to go day to day and you're seeing your friends be bullied, or you ain't got the latest sneaker and you're trying to fit in. It's like, how do I get my immediate, acceptance, or that thing that's gonna make me feel whole as a person right now.
Instant gratification.
That instant gratification. How do I get that right now? Sometimes the thing that's really getting pushed in your face is the negative stuff. Like, man, the quickest way for you to do whatever that you might want to grab that pack, bro.
Yeah, well, I always say you lose it how you get it. You get it fast, you're probably gonna lose it fast.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. It's like, okay, what's my higher education? Knowing how to survive. So this dude on this corner is gonna tell me how to survive this, what Millie's called and what everybody else called the trenches. How do you survive? And that's what kind of like what Springfield's on in every other inner city or urban community. We're on constant survival mode, being in this urban traumatic space. We're constantly in survival mode. So I'm gonna grab onto the first thing that's telling me, here's your survival kit.
Right. Self-preservation.
It's the first law.
And
that's kind of like, that was my upbringing in Springfield. I was constantly on survival mode, and it led me to doing things that was just unbecoming of myself. But it's kind of like, man, looking back at it, I'm just like, what other income did you expect for me to happen?
Right.
You put somebody in that type of environment where, like I said in the beginning, where there's lack of resources, the educational system is not being funded the way it's supposed to. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I have to be
Are you surprised about this outcome?
Yeah, like, seriously?
Absolutely.
Are you surprised?
So speaking of education, talk a little bit about what was you guys all went in pretty young. What was your level of education when y'all went in? Did anyone have a high school diploma? Is that something you guys?
I wouldn't know when I was in the 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing.
And I got
same
kept
thing.
back that year.
Okay, so
Damn, 10th grade was bad.
I went in when I
so
was
you guys
in
got
10th grade.
your GED. You got your
I got my
GED.
GED
How did that-
while I was
okay.
no, Shirley Max. I got my
Okay.
GED while I was in Shirley Max. And the whole, they brought Emerson to Concord first. So it was kind of like, that was like the trial run. And then I seen, these is the dudes we like look up to you. Even it be acting like dudes, all they younger, you can't look up to them. It's like wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy way of thinking. But it was him and Emerson, it was Rock, it was Ray, it was all the guys was in there. So I was seeing it from a distance, and I was seeing the aura they was coming back to the unit with, they come into the yard with, and I'm like, I think I want to try it, but I'm so not focused right now that I can't. So when they drew for a second cohort, I skipped it, and then I skipped it for a reason, because a couple months after that, I ended up in a hole. I was in a hole for 5 months. Knew I was ripping and running, knew I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. And then ended up in the hole for 5 months. And then when I made the conscious decision while I was in there, I'm like, yo, I got parole coming up. I'm like, damn, I gotta my moms and my sisters sacrificed so much for me while I was in there, making sure I was good, making sure I never went hungry. It's like, yo, I gotta at least make a valiant effort for me to get out. Even if it felt like it was impossible. I gotta at least try and say, yo, I'll put forth my best effort. And when I got out the hole, I kicked it with I'm like, yo, it's done, bro. That's it. That's it. And then I start going to these little programs and then applying myself different. Now I'm not sitting in the program for good time. I'm not sitting. Nah, I'm like, all right, hold on.
can't
What
get good time anyways.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
You sitting there for good time, bro? Hold on. You delusional.
Definitely was. I couldn't get good time anyways. But sometimes they force you into the programs, and it's like you can't. There's no way of getting around it. They forcing you in the spectrum. So you just silent protest. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not participating.
But I went and that's the first thing I did was I changed my attitude, because I knew I had a shitty attitude. So that was the first thing. When the shitty attitude went, it was like, all right, now I'm in these rooms, now I'm in these classrooms, now I'm in these programs, and I'm being more receptive towards what's being taught. And then I'm walking away from it oh, hi, hold on. I kind of learned something from that. And then it made me into a different person. And I started signing up for stuff like the dog program. And, I'm in there with Dutch and all these other people. They see me with a dog like a Labradoodle. They're like, oh, you didn't have a Labradoodle. You was in Roxbury. It's like now they're catching wreck. So it's like, but it's like, that's the change. Like, and the more you start making those changes, the more you start going into the dog program, you start doing restorative justice, transforming anger through nonviolence. It's like it separates you from the people that you was one, because they're not doing, sometimes them same people that you was glued to, they not doing that shit. Yeah. Y'all don't share the same vision no more. Y'all can't sit down in the yard and it be the same because you walking with a different type of energy. So it's like, it just that friendship, that relationship, that should die off, bro. Okay. And then you, like me personally, I felt guilty a little bit, but I knew what the end game was. I'm like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
If they don't understand, that's on them.
This shit is driving me crazy, and I don't want to be the one that's just stuck in here forever. Yeah. They could keep niggas in there forever. Yeah, that's like the reality of it. They can keep you in there forever. But that's a reality I always used to sit with. Like,
it be all them dudes that coming in, like all the fellas that are short that come in, and they still they're not really on that anymore. You know what I mean? Because we know what they were doing out there. They just came in for like just, catching the blick or trapping or whatever. And when they come in, they super ganged up again or on their hood shit again. And they're like, yo, what up? Like one of my mans, like I love him to death. You know what I mean? He ain't changed, but he's like, yo, skip school, bro. Come chill with me in the yard. I'm like, fam, I'm going to class. I'll see you later, bro. He's like, yo, crazy word. He's like, what's doing in school on the streets? I was like, yeah, that's why I'm in here, stupid.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But like the way the movements be, like, going from one place to another, they'll fight break out, or we know a fight about to break out, we're all running into the school building. Before we used to be like, we're watching, like, we'll look to make sure it's not one of our mans, first of all. But when we know it's not, we're running to the class because we're gonna get stuck somewhere. We're like, yo, we're not. Our professors go through that trap, go through get fucking brought in, go through all that dehumanizing shit to come see us, to humanize us. That I'm gonna show up late for class, or that I already got the drop on something, I'm out. Yo, bro, hold on, wait until 5 minutes after movement, then pop. And they be like, what? Like, peel off. And then I'll run to all the fellas, like, yo, hurry up, go to class, they're about to pop. And then they be stabbings and shit. Like, I used to be like, oh, damn, that's ill. Well, that's crazy. But now it's like, oh, shit, he getting stabbed, gotta get to class. Word. And that's be like,
damn, you get stuck, you be tight, like, I knew I should have left early. You be heated, like, damn, I'm about to miss this whole class. Like,
talk about getting the GED. Was that a confidence booster for any of you guys and make you want to kind of go forward, or did that come later?
For me, college was always in the picture because my pop's been saying since I was a kid. He's like, you going to college? I'm like, all right, whatever. But I went just the way he didn't think I was gonna go. But I got my GED right when I went to the county because they weren't letting anybody on pretrial get it, but they knew I was facing a smack, so it was like, we're gonna do an exception. Me and my co-D were supposed to do it together, but he ended up getting into a brawl at court, and then I missed it, so I ended up getting lucky and get my GED instead of doing a 30-day box trip. But I got that like right away at 17. I'm like, these questions are dumb easy, but then I forgot. I was just in school, so I'm like, this shit was like, I was like, all right, cool.
Exactly. Still fresh.
But other than that, like once you go upstate, especially when we're lifers, bro, programming or schooling, we weren't getting that shit up there. We were just being warehoused, and that's why the max is so crazy with all the young boys, because they're not doing anything. They're not allowed to do anything, if anything. And if they are, they're forced to do programs and they're silent protesting. They're like, oh, fuck.
And it's different because when you're a lifer, it's like they only got a certain amount of slots that they can give to a lifer. You're not priority in there. They're like, all right, we'll squeeze 1 and 2 of y'all into this program, but we only give y'all 3 slots. And then you like, all right, it's fucking 800 people in here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, program, of course, wasn't at the top of it, because you're like, man, they're going to take forever to put me in there. And by the time, I'm going to probably get into some shit and get into a fight or get into whatever. And
then recycle you back in the back.
Recycle. And it's like, that's how you get thrown off, man. That's how you get thrown off.
What was it about college that was attractive to you? Why'd you want to do it?
So the first course that, it's like Brazy just said, my father instilled that in me. And I've been watching my older siblings go to college, and then I'm the baby, and the first one to be incarcerated. So everybody was being like the first to go to college, and and why here in America, and I'm the first one to go to the institution, the prison complex, right? So I'm just like, oh, all right, now I have to find a way to be like that great return on my parents' investment. Like this is not why they traveled all the way from Haiti as migrants to give us a better life, to watch their baby child be in prison for the rest of his life. So I'm like, okay, to make sure that you didn't lose your return on your investment, I'm gonna give you the thing that you've been hoping that every last one of your child do, is actually get a higher education. So that was instilled with me since like before I even came to the U.S. So now when I found an opportunity to kind of do that and just like, make my parents proud, I was like, any type of college that I could get into or any type of schooling, I'm gonna do it. So when I got my GED, it was a way for them to be like, listen, you didn't really, I didn't let you down. But it also did boost my confidence. Because for so many years, I kept doubting myself. Like there was this self-doubt every time I went to school. One, because of the language barrier that I had to kind of like overcome since elementary school. So that kind of put like a little bit of insecurity in me. Yeah. And then I was so wrapped up in trying to be in survival mode, like school was like the last thing on my mind. So now when I'm watching some of my friends on the streets prior to my incarceration, I'm seeing them excel in me in certain classes. I started self-doubting myself, like, man, am I smart? Because I know I could learn the street stuff, but am I, like, on a collegiate level, am I smart? You know what I mean? Because you start like comparing yourself to like some of these elites, right? In this academic state, or some of these other kids are like, nah, he's just smart, or she's just smart. I'm all right, but they smart. So then when I got my GED, when I got the GED, I'm like, nah, I'm smart. Like, you know what I mean? I got that reassurance, like hold on, nah, I'm actually really intelligent. Maybe unconventional in the unconventional way, but I'm like, no, I know how to use my brain. Like I have common sense, and I'm a critical thinker. You know what I'm saying? So I started saying to myself, like, hold on, if I was able to navigate the streets, this GED just really confirmed I have some type of intelligence. Let me at least try this college thing. If I'm not good at it, then I'm not good at it. Right. But at least I can say I tried though. So then I left the county, I got sentenced, I got my life sentence. And I think the first college experience that I got was my turn with Hillary, like you said, because lifers get put at the bottom of the list when it comes to like programming. And you only have like a limited amount of slots. So I wasn't able to, I think they had like Mount Wachusett, I had an issue there with like the Pell Grant. And then Hillary came in and she was like, hey, just write this essay. Again, the self-doubt and the insecurities came. And I'm just like, the only way I knew how to write an essay was back in middle school. Yeah. So she was like, just do the best that you can. Now you're talking about writing on a collegiate level. So once I got past that, like the nervousness and that self-doubt and all those little insecurities I had about higher education, man, I was full throttle with it. And she was actually critiquing me like now that you're in college, you don't have to write like the intro, the body and conclusion. And I'm just like, man, I should have never went to the streets. I'm dumb as hell for doing that. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, she's like, so she's like, you ain't gotta write like that. Like, let me show you how to like improve your writing skills. So I'm just like, all right, so now I gotta get past that. Got past okay, I don't really know how to. She's like, forget the spelling. Like, we could get past that. Let me show you how to put your thoughts on paper, bro. Yeah. Like there's something called editing. And I'm just like, oh yeah, they do that. I'm like, rough draft. So I'm just like, all right. And she's showing me like how to edit. Like, and then now I'm like, once I got past that hurdle, I'm like, the confidence even went up further. Now I'm like, you can't tell me nothing, bro. Like, if I feel like there's any type of like self-doubt or that insecurity kicking, I gotta look myself in the mirror. I'm like, yo, bro, you tripping, bro. Yeah. Like, all you gotta do is make the mistake and then learn from it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's it, bro. Like, I make those mistakes and be like, I know I ain't got a clue about this, but I guarantee you by the end of this course, I'm gonna be better than anybody in this room.
Yeah. Does anyone have a favorite thing about pursuing higher education when you was inside? If they want to touch on?
No, you touch it first.
But yeah, now back to Swink's thing. That like where he's at right now is where I need to be because I still have so much self-doubt, bro. Like even though I got my degree and everything, like that whole process, bro, I was like, damn, I'm not smart enough. I'm always comparing myself to people because I'm like, but that's how it was my whole life. I was always like the runt of just everything from my hood, in the bang. Like I always felt like I had to prove myself more than anything, and there's always felt that like I'm not even supposed to be here. Like now I gotta turn up. But now like even higher education, like, but for schooling, bro, like we didn't have a choice in like what classes we took.
Yeah.
So that was the best thing. At first I was like, damn, why the fuck are we taking theater class, or we're taking acting class, or these poetry classes? But that shit just opened my mind to so many different things of seeing how different platforms are being used and weaponized to speak to people's language in a sense, bro, to reach different audiences. You know what I mean? Like, who has time to read poetry? Bougie ass people. You start talking that shit there, you don't get them theater. Who has time to go to theater? We can do some political shit there and some bougie motherfuckers that we need to be on our side, or to wake them up. You know what I mean? And it's every single platform where it's like, yo, how are we not being political? Everything in life is fucking political. No matter how much we don't want to be involved with it, we're fucking involved with it. So we need to be able to figure out how we become a fucking, you know, like how do we mobilize our people to be effective and mobilized to vote, to use that voice, because that means that's when we start mattering. That's when these politicians start coming through to our places and be like, all right, what y'all need, because y'all got to vote for me. Because that's the only time they're going to come around.
Right.
And this is when we need them. Like, I bet, come through, change these laws. We need you to raise the age. We need you to come see and fix these potholes in the hood. We need you to fix these fucking street lights, bro.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But it's only if we start using our power of voting and learning how to be political, because everything we do is political. That's why, you know, we do our best as lifers, bro, being out here. You know, you formerly incarcerated too. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard, bro, because we're a reflection of them. If we come out here and say, yo, that shit was hard in there, and we come out here hardcore thugs still, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Let's prove to them, to society, that the things that they think we couldn't do, fucking change, bro, for the better. You know what I mean? And this is what we do. We're the embodiment of who other than us to brand ourselves, bro, to be the best person we can be and excel past that and put our foot forward, because at the end of the day, it's a million foot with us that people can't see. You know what I mean? They're just looking at us like, yo, what's up with them?
Right.
That's when we tell our stories of their stories, bro. How they got us here today, where we at right now. You know what I mean? To this spot, bro. And that's why, like, yo, bro, every single day, bro, I have one of my bros' name on me at all times, bro, since I've been out. I mean, it's only been 90 days, but I'm doing the best I can. But it's not enough still, because I know that I need more to do with me. But I have it. I might not see them all the time, like, because I'm far away from everybody else. I mean, I have to take truce, but I'm making my effort in doing it, and I'm doing the best I can, the best I know how. You know what I mean? So I appreciate this platform, you know what I mean? Because I know I'll be able to reach some other people, man, hopefully.
I feel like with me, I was so anti-education. I'm like, man, I ain't doing that shit, man. I don't know people that come from a product of a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody whose father is a lawyer, or whose mother is a doctor. Like, I don't know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like these blue collar jobs, or don't got no job.
Right.
Oh, we living off the state. You know what I'm saying? So it was like situations like that. So it wasn't really as motivating for me. I was in the building trades class when TUFTS came to Concord, and they did a inside out course, which was like 10 students and 10 students from in here. I said it like I was still in a joint.
Right.
I come my room to cell, bro. I'm like, I'm going to my cell real quick.
I said it, like, so it's 10 students from in jail, and then 10 students from TUFTS, and they was in a classroom together, and they did a course together. And then there was another aspect of it, which was a lecture series. And the lecture series was like a different professor came in every week, and they just gave a spill on whatever they specialized in. So it was like biology, the English literature, quantitative reasoning, all these different. And then I was in that one. I was in a lecture series, and I was just going into every class. Like, I guess I was so like engaging. Hillary was like, nah, the director of the program, Hillary, she was like, yo, you got to sign up for this degree program that's coming. I'm like, nah, it's kind of not for me. Like,
right.
I'm good. Like, I'm about to go home, become a carpenter, get in the union, guaranteed bread. Like, that's how I was looking at it, guaranteed bread. Like, yo, I'm about to bang this hammer, get my money up. And that's all I could see. And then she just like really sat with me in the hallway, like, nah, I can guarantee you that a degree from TUFTS, it'll hold some weight. Yeah. And I still didn't like understand like the gravity of that. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And then Marty came out. I kicked it with Marty in the hallway. Marty's like, yo, you should sign up for the degree program. And then some just told me like, I don't know. I learned how to take, like, when I'm getting like messages from people like that, like, oh, let me just try. So when Marty said it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in there, boom, wrote my essay, did the little math part of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna feel that part of it. But they're like, yo, we just trying to gauge where you're at with it. And then I ended up getting in. I told people all the time, I'm like, yeah, that shit was like, people getting those letters, it's like Willy Wonka, like, yo, you getting a golden ticket. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I get the letter and then I'm in there. Now I'm in these classes, I'm in these spaces, and it's like, damn, hold up. The imposter syndrome kick in, because it's not like, no, it's different. This is like, they really trying to teach you things that are like, it's different from what you're used to. So when or I walk into a math class and it's quantitative reasoning, I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I came in there with a lot of insecurities, but then it's like, after every class, I walked away feeling more powerful. I was like, yo, man, I always be telling people, I feel like Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Like every class I'm getting a ring and it's like, oh, all right. Like, it's like that type. I start feeling powerful. It's the network you get from when you in those classes. They brought Cornell West in there to give us a lecture, bro.
That was dope. He gave us all a hug and some more shit.
They brought Cornell West in there, Stanley and Dries, like all these people that are like examples, like the people that we wasn't seeing before. We wasn't seeing examples of like black men who are like successful, who have achieved all these things that, oh damn, you see a black man in this room, like we started seeing them, we started seeing the examples, and then it's like, all right, now we becoming the examples. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in a prison, but it's like I'm getting this degree, and people looking at me like, oh, I see what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, then I start recognizing like I'm the example. And even when I got out, it's like somebody told me, like, yo, I got you on vision board. I'm like, yo, why? Like, it's pressure. You know what I'm saying? The pressure's a privilege. Absolutely. But I'm just like, all right, now I am the example. So now I'm walking differently because I recognize like who's coming behind me. I recognize who I'm representing. I recognize all of that, and it's a responsibility that comes with that. So yeah, that's why I carry myself the way I do. Like I'm always thinking about like us as a collective. That's it. That's it.
Does anyone have a favorite class they wanna, or course they had, and why?
There were so many, bro. I guess one of my favorite classes was a literature class that we weren't even supposed to have. It ended up being like a spontaneous thing. One of the professors dropped out because of COVID. It was my professor Wendy Walters. It's called Unmapping, and it was about like learning how to unmap our stories. So it was reading like a bunch of different novels, but also like how they were like showing the circumstances of their life. So we read like an indigenous book, a Native American book, like it was based out in like Nevada area or something like that. And it was like so much was in there. It was talking about like the poverty, alcoholism, the uranium and everything. So like the colonization of that, but in a novel form where you wouldn't even realize that's what it was really about. And like they brought in this spirituality into it and everything, and like how we had, when reading it, we had to unpack it. Like, how do we tell our stories of who we are, and then what stages are we are? Because like, give me, like 5 years ago, I was still brazy on blood. That's who I am. This is what I've been through. You know what I mean? But that's the narrative that I have there. It's not saying that it wasn't true at that time. You know what I mean? But if I unpack that, it would show what I was. But today it's like, I'm still brazy, but I'm also Kevin. You know what I mean? And now I'm a free man, even though I don't feel as free. And people be like, yo, you home. I'm not home. I'm on my way home. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm finding it. But it's like the story that got me here, am I gonna tell a story that where I was a victim or as a survivor? I don't wanna tell those stories no more. I want to tell a story of success, of thriving. Redemption. You know what I mean? Of a redemption. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not rehabilitation, because I don't think we were ever rehabilitated, because growing up in a fucked up environment, do you want me to go back to be rehabilitated to that? Right. You know what I mean? Which I think they do. Probably. You know what I mean? They want to play semantics. They can play semantics, but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, we have to own our stories, because that's who we are. You know what I mean? And all of us together, we're writing a fucking book together without even knowing it. You know what I mean? So everything we do, everything we say, it's who we are in that day. Yeah. It changes every day. It evolves. But at the end of the day, we have to be cognizant of it and aware of how shit changes and how we're saying it. Because if I wake up and be like, yo, I'm not good enough for this shit, I can go back and be comfortable in there, because I know what's in there. I succeeded in there for the last 16 years. I'm still alive, you know what I mean? I made it to where I'm at today, but out here as a grown-ass man, like, where everything is just like so much, I can go back to what's comfortable. But nah, I have to face the uncomfortable things, man. I gotta keep telling myself that I'm worthy enough, that I'm confident enough, and that I should be here to put on for my peoples, because they need me here. Because at the end of the day, if not me, then who, bro? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep waiting for some savior. I need to be that savior for myself, and whoever I bring along with me is who I bring along with me, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know I'm not alone. I might not see people to my side right now, but eventually they're gonna be there, you know?
That's for sure.
So.
What about you? Did you have a favorite course that you took?
Yo, gender studies.
Gender studies, why?
Gender studies, bro. Because it's like, that's one of those courses that's like, we all have our ideas and morals or beliefs that we stand firmly on. And it's just like, nah, this is what it is, and nah, you don't, you're never willing to challenge it. You're never willing to. And then I started reading books by transgender, books by Centoya Brown, and like books about feminism and like all these different things. And I'm like, hold on. You start learning about supremacy and the patriarchy and then racism. And I'm like, hold on. Maybe what I believe was wrong.
Right.
Yeah, dog.
Like,
It shakes up your foundation.
You ain't getting no real education if you ain't taking what you stand firmly on, what you believe in, and you not trying to pick it apart. You're not trying to pull it. You're not trying to. It's the Socratic method. If you're not trying to question that shit, then that ain't no education, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And be real with yourself. Like, all right, this is an objective truth. This is what's really was what. Yeah. And then that class had me doing that a lot, man. A lot of my beliefs that I thought I had, I'm like, man. I started thinking like, where did this even come from? Where does train of thought even come from? Where does thinking come from? Like, what is it rooted in? Like, once I started asking myself all of those questions, I was just like, damn. Like, all right. That's when I started realizing, yeah, this education shit is powerful. Yeah, and a lot of those classes do that for you. Like even the philosophy class, that shit had all of us locked in. Yeah, right. All of us locked in. That was the number one class that I felt like everybody was just immersed in, and everybody like loved that class. Cause you walk away from that philosophy class with a headache. Like, right. What is justice? What is freedom? I was there, and the professor would be like, all right, so what is freedom? And then somebody would give their example of what freedom is, and then another, you're like, nah, that ain't. Right. That ain't freedom, bro. Nah, this is freedom. And then we looking at that definition of freedom, like, I don't know. Hold on. Let me hear his word. Like, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It's like you picking that apart, man. That's what it is. That's what it's about, bro.
For sure. Question everything. Question. Just because you're told something, ask why, or even see if it's even true. You know, the years pass and a lot of things are touched by human hands, and certain things, narratives get manipulated and all that thing.
You ain't
so
kids
you got
no
question
more.
everything.
Somebody tell you something, you ain't gotta take it for like,
right.
Oh, that's just your parents tell you some shit when you younger. Oh, you a Christian?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
Like people, and somebody asks you, what religion? I'm Christian.
Right.
I don't know nothing about Christianity,
right.
but
Exactly.
this my mama told me I'm Christian. Like, you know, it's like shit like that, man. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite class? And why was it?
Yeah, so I had like two, and it's like they go like hand in hand. Cool. So the first one was the literature of confinement. It was just like looking at different ways that we could look at just being confined. So one of the poems was called, I think it was Wallpaper. And
Virginia Woolf?
I believe so, when she's talking about suicide.
Virginia Woolf.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm like, oh, that's deep. Because at the end of the poem, I'm like, what is she really talking about? Like, and then she ended up really committing suicide.
Wow.
And so I'm just like, wow. And then there was another aspect of, there was another poem that, or it was like, I think it was a short story when the lady was talking about domestic violence. And that was a confinement. So I'm only looking at confinement like these four walls is prison, because that's what we know. But then when I'm reading these different type of like short stories and these poems, I'm like, oh, now it makes a lot more sense. In the other class that we was doing with the this first semester, just the justice literature of justice.
Yeah.
And it was just talking about how the prison system was started, and how it really became like an industrial complex. So now I'm looking at the literatures of confinement, And we always say like when I came home, everybody, I'm just like having conversations with people, and I'm just like, yo, what's up with such and such? And they're like, man, he doing the same thing. And the first thing I'm thinking about, I'm just like, that class, bro. Like, oh, you're still confined.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're like, and I shook hands with people when I went back home, and I'm just like, I'm looking at them 30 something years old, and I'm like, you're 15.
But you can't tell them
But
that.
you can't say that, right?
Can't say
And I'm
that.
just like, whoa, women too. I'm just like, damn, mommy, like you still 18, like you out here doing the same thing that you was doing when I left. It's like Nas said, a lot of people are stuck in a second childhood. And when I'm reading that literature confinement, I'm just like, that's what that means about being confined, like, right? Like, yeah, I'm out of the prison system, and that's behind me. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to do that on the psychological aspect. Like, I'm not gonna let these 4 walls or this structure or this institution keep me boxed in, that I can't be bigger than this environment, and I'm just confined to it. And then I'm home and I'm having certain conversations with people. I'm like, whoa, like this is deep, bro. Like, you're really in prison, bro. More than I was in 16 years. Like you're afraid still. You know, we always talk about the big dude in the hood that's always like willing to do some most violent act because you don't know how to really express yourself. So that's what it is.
Communication.
Like, okay, you do some violent act. Anybody could do that. I mean, you got 13-year-olds that get frustrated and do a violent act. Like, we don't look at them like they dogs or they the illest thing in Nebraska. We're just like, man, that's something's wrong with that little boy, right? Or the little girl when they commit a violent act. So that should like identify somebody for being this ill, tough person. And we look at them like when they do a violent act, like, man, this person's not a coward. But then I'm having these conversations going back to confinement. I'm like, but you are like you really like confined to not wanting to get out of a certain image that you have for yourself, man. Like you really like you're a coward in a different coward in a different sense, right? But you're confined also. You know, like then I really started seeing like what it really means to just really be confined. Like that class really opened my mind to that. Like I'm having conversations with some of the like you were saying the 10 actual Medford students that come into the prison who sit down with guys that are incarcerated. There's 10 of the incarcerated men, and then I'm having dialogue with these young ladies and these young men, and I can start seeing how they're confined even to the culture of being in college. Like they can't get past the suburban area.
Right.
Like this is the first time they ever sat in a classroom with one, the person that's been incarcerated, and 2, somebody black.
That's wild.
Like your worldview, what your parents instilled in you is like a form of confinement. Like I'm the first black man you shaking hands with.
Right.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like your parents would be acting crazy if they knew you were doing a course like
extreme too, bro.
Like you're in a classroom full of murderers or you know drug dealers and the most what they call the most dejected of people.
Yeah.
And it's
Lepers.
like, come on, bro. Like these are the
lepers.
people that you're in a room with, but their mentality, their parents and these people that think like that, that's a form of confinement. So that was probably like one of my biggest, like, impactful classes to be at night. Now everything that I've been listening to in rap songs, I mean, like coming home and niggas are still the same. I'm just like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
These lyrics hit a little different now.
Yeah, it's like they've been warning us from day one, bro. Like I watched Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, the lyrics hit a little different now. Like, oh, okay. I thought it was mad cool rapping it when I was growing up.
You're looking back at it now with all the knowledge you got.
What? I'm like, oh, that's what Nas meant.
Yeah. No, because on dogs, bro, like, yo, after went to school and everything, and like, yo, I was sitting in the cell with Brock, right, and we was watching Boys in the Hood. I'm like,
Those movies.
right? And it was like, yo, they was telling us from day one, bro.
This ain't
how
it.
dumb we were. Like, hey, bro, we're glorifying all the killings and everything. But I was like, yo, they was dropping jewels the whole time. I was like, how we missed that? Yeah. But it's like watching like Disney movies from back in the days, right? You're like, oh, them sisters, and then you watching that, like, this shit was some traumatic shit, bro. This shit was deep, bro.
Set it off as my favorite movie when I was younger, and then I seen it when I was in prison, and I'm just like, I remember when it got towards the end of it, it was like, I think Jada Pinkett was the only one that survived, and then it's like, you robbed all these banks, you got all this bread, Cleo died, Vivica died, the other one died, and it's like, yo, you can't even enjoy none of this shit.
Cost, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
cost is crazy.
So I'm like, this movie is not my favorite.
This is not traumatizing, bro. Think about it.
Scarface came on one time, and I'm watching it, and my man's banging on it when I was incarcerated. So one of my business partner now, a really good friend of mine, he bangs on the wall. Boom, he's like, yo, when the door's open, come in the room. I'm like, all right. So he's like, he was watching Scarface. I'm like, nah, I was reading something. And he was like, bro, watch it again. So I ended up watching it. And there's a scene when Scarface is at the, when he's at the table. He done got everything he wants. And this is when he starts actually,
Look at you can't even have
he starts like belittling the late, but it's like, when you watch it on the surface, it's like, damn, why is he putting her down? It's like, man, he was talking something about deeper than that. This lifestyle, he's like, he was disgusted of it. It's like he was saying like, oh, they've been warning us this whole time. And Scarface actually, but we love the other scene, right? When he's getting the money and he's partying and all that, but then he Tiger in the mansion. But even in that movie, that scene was so. That's the one I don't watch Scarface a million times, but when I saw that scene, he's like, look at me. He's like, this is what it is, and he's talking about like, you're polluted. You came at babies, like yeah, he's putting her down, but it's just like, man, this lifestyle ain't get us nowhere. I'm all fat, can't do nothing. I got everything I could possibly do. Like, this is what I chased you to get this. I chased the bag to get, this is what I get. A fat dude that's in a restaurant. I don't ate every lobster roll possible. Hors d'oeuvres, I don't have that. Pop bottles again. Like, this is the same recurring theme that constantly keeps being thrown out there in the movies, but it's just like, well, highlight like, yeah, but he got to the back though. I just need that. Like, I don't care about none of what you're talking about.
I read this book by this lady. She's a professor. Her name's Joan Morgan. The only reason I read the book, is because the title. It's called "When Chicken Heads Come Home to Roost." When chicken heads come home to roost. So it's like, I knew that was a play on Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? When he's talking about when JFK got assassinated, I think. And so I'm like, oh, this book has to be fire. And then I crack it open, and she's talking about like she's talking about hip hop. And how she's talking about hip hop as a whole, but then like our relationship with hip hop. She's like, yo, if you look at Biggie's album, Life After Death, classic album, one of the most fire albums in hip hop. But then if you really look at the root of it, from beginning to end, he's talking about depression. He's talking about that black rage. He's talking about like all of these things that the young black male was going through, but we can't see that because we only looking at it through one lens. And until I read that, I'm like, damn, she hit that on the head. You know what I'm saying? So Life After Death is a fire album. He talking about suicide on it. He talking about killing himself in one of the songs. And we like, oh, this is fire, it's Biggie.
Right.
Like, but it's depressing as hell. It's like the real reality of what's being spoke about. We just looking at it through a different lens. And I think sometimes, I don't know, that's why we miss it. It's like that whole, the streets period, man. It's just being looked at through a different lens.
It be the same way like growing up, bro. Like, no bullshit. Like, all my older men that really got it shaking, they always used to be like, yo, Brazy, what are you doing? I'm like, what you telling me for? Like, you over there still wild. I'm a wild too. But they're like, yo, nah. And it's like the same way when I was in the joint and talked to my little cousins and everything, my little brother, like, yo, this is not what it is, but I'm still in there bugging. But it's like, like you try and give people the message, but it's not the right time. And like people used to always ask people questions like, what would you tell your younger self to help him? I'm like, if I go back in time and he sees me, he gonna smack the shit out of me and say, you washed up, you fucking lame. Get the fuck away from me. Which is like, you know what I mean? Because at 16, I wasn't ready to hear none of that. 18, 19, 20, I don't know. I was still bugging. I didn't give a fuck. I was self-destructing, bro. Because at the end of the day, I was on a suicide path, bro. I didn't want to live no more, bro. Like, I didn't have the balls enough to kill myself. So you know what I did? I self-destructed. And I self-destructed with everybody around me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't carrying a blick to fucking protect myself. I was carrying a blick to cause the most harm that I can cause. I was shanked up in the max, bro. Why? Not for protection. To put in the most pain, bro. Because I was hurting. Bad. I didn't know how to explain it, but I was hurting. And some of the most vicious people in anywhere in life are hurting. Are fucking hurting. You know what I mean? And we can't give up on them. You know what I mean? There's some people that are never giving up on them, but those are one of the few, bro. And at the end of the day, for us to be where we're at today, it took a support system, bro, that they didn't give up on us. Even when we was pushing them out the fucking way from jump, bro. They didn't give up on us. When we keep pushing, they was like, you can't lose me. Like, fuck out of here. I'm here. I don't
Dudes
care.
is going to the hole, coming back like, damn, man, you almost got lugged to a different unit, a different jail. Like, you almost messed up your. And that did happen to some people. We thought Rock was off it.
Yeah. We was sad about that one.
He got into a big ass fight in the child hole.
So let's talk a little bit about, like, big salute to TUFTS, Tuppet, my turn. How important is it to have higher education in prison? And do you think we need more of it? Why?
I feel like that's the number one thing. I feel like when I got in the program, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I started to see the impact of it. And then I started to see the impact it had on people around me. I'm like, oh, this is fire. But then it was like, when I sat down at the end of the day and then I came back to the unit, I started feeling like a 1%er. Because I'm like, it's cool. There's 26 people in my class. There's probably 18 in his class. What is that? And it's probably like a little bit over 40 people. And how many? It's like
We was losing people left and right.
700 people in the prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So 40 people, and then but there's 600 people here or 700 people here. It's like, damn. It's like I'm coming back with the information. I'm coming back with the knowledge, and now I'm feeling guilty because everybody's not being presented with this opportunity. But you know, it's privately funded and things like that, and so. There's a reason that there's only a certain amount of us that can get that education. But if everybody could, man, this would be so, like, this world wouldn't be the way it is. Recidivism wouldn't be the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Rehabilitation would be different. It'll look different. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I just wish it was. I wish it wasn't like that. Now it's a little bit better now because it's like there's way more cohorts than there was when we started, and it's like we made it cool, man. We made it cool to be able to. We in school. My man Coop came to the unit. I said, this is what I got for you.
Threw his ass right in there.
Application.
Dope.
I got no food for you right now. Yo, fill this out first.
That's it.
Fill this out first, and then I'll get with you after that. But you gonna fill this out.
But
Did you want to?
that's the biggest thing now, because I'm from Emerson Prison Initiative. Was first college into Concord, and like what Smith was saying, like you do feel like you're the 1%er when you're coming out of class, but like everything I was learning in there, we know how to speak the language to the fellas. We're learning the language in academic world, in academia. We know how to translate that. We're fucking translators when we come out. Like, I'm talking about like coming through from a power and privilege class, and I'm hollering at the fellas about power structures, but I'm talking about now I'm naming these fucking conspiracy theories we thought we had our whole lives. Like, yo, bro. There's a term for why Asian people are pitted against other minorities. It's called being model minority, bro. Where they say, yo, you guys they perpetuate the stereotype that we're good at math, we do X, Y, and Z, we could thrive in America. You got a bunch of fucking Cambodians in here that ain't got none of that shit. We in the hoods, we slumming with everybody else, we gangbanging.
Facts.
I mean, we straight hood as fuck. But it's like learning like how that was perpetuated in the hoods too, where it was trying to be divisive in a sense where like, yo, we beef with the Puerto Ricans, or we beefed with some of the black fellas, or beef with the white dudes, because at the end of the day, they're like, oh, look at the Asians in here. Yeah, because my peoples came as refugees. There was maybe some that got some grants to open up businesses in the hoods, but it's like, yo, just because we're here don't mean like we're not going through the same struggles. You know what I mean? We might have just got here, but now I'm seeing, yo, this shit was systematic, bro. You know what I mean? And like being like poor, being on Section 8, being on welfare, and just seeing how, bro, generational poverty, dog, and trauma is just like there, and it's like in our face, and we didn't know these concepts. We just like, nah, this is how it is in the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? We fucked up. But it's we're getting these concepts. We're learning how to name these problems. We're fucking identifying the boogeyman. Now we know what to do, what the problem is, and fucking beat the shit out of it. And we're bringing it back to the homies. Now I'm like, yo, bro, this is how I talk in class. They're like, no way. I'm like, fact. My professor says, yo, you might not be able to refine it. You know what I mean? When you're on paper, you know what I mean? You want to write academic, but then they get it on paper. This editing. Your thoughts are your thoughts, bro. The way we speak, the way we can articulate ourselves and bring our fucking experience, lived experience into these classrooms for them to see it too, but for our people to see it, they're like, yo, I can do this shit. And that's what it was, bro. Coming out, because at the end of the day, it was mad love in them classrooms that professors brought in, and them TAs, bro. They loved us to death. We brought that love outside too, bro, in such a fucking gloomy place, bro. And looking at us like, dudes would joke, oh, you think better college kids. But that's why I loved it, the fact that they didn't separate us and make a college unit, which they what they wanted. We was all in different blocks, bro. Still half in, half out. We weren't all the way straight narrow. We were still gang banging, ripping and running in there. But we don't give up on those that do that, because if they did, I wouldn't be here. I mean, put so much faith into me, and like, damn, I'm letting them down. And I hate letting people down. No matter what it is. It can be negative shit, positive shit. That's where the conflicting shit goes. You'll be like, I can't let my niggas down. But I can't let my professor down either. You know, like, so where do I go? I was like, do I go and stab this dude? Or do I go and do my essay? I'm like, is it really worth it? It's like, but that's what but then your loyalties are like, where?
It's the heart at conflict.
Yeah. And it's like, damn, and that's what all of us deal with on a day-to-day. It's like, it's so much because it's like I said, the stories we tell ourselves of who we are. And that's why I look at some guys like, yo, that I used to be like, damn, they washed up, they fucking squared up. I'm like, you know how hard it is to kill that part of you, bro? And to do what you gotta do to, you know, and some people go to the extreme and be like, don't call me Brazy no more, I'm Kevin. Then the day Brazy got me here. And that's why I say this is the afterlife, because it's after my life bid, bro. You know what I mean? Everything I do, man, is afterlife. It's before life, the life, then afterlife. Because in the day, it's where I'm at right now. It's where I gotta go as a new man out here, bro. But it's like, bro, it's just so hard, but you have to keep doing it, because in the day, like I said, we're the embodiment of our aura, our energy, bro. It's big, but it's the love that we got from our professors and people that believe in us, bro. That when we didn't even believe in ourselves, bro.
Yeah. So I want to get into a little bit about, and I'll start with you, what you've been up to since you've been out, and what you're looking forward to, and what are some of your plans moving forward?
Tell them about the ID, B.
Oh, fact, bro. They did you filthy.
Yeah, so
need an ID.
Obstacle.
So I've been having a little identification, not a little. I've been having a huge identification process as far as just like, you know, this reentry process. And for some people that I've seen, it kind of like allow them to say, I'm giving up. You know, and not having the wherewithal to just be like, all right, this is just another challenge in life. How can I think critically and see how I could like navigate this other challenge? Now that I'm home, I don't have an identification, but how can I think critically of just making sure that I put money in my pocket, but I can also survive? Because now I'm back into another survival mode.
Yep.
You know, the hood before incarceration, that was survival mode. Being in prison, survival mode. I have no idea. This is one of the number one thing you need when you get released, to get employment, housing, and just basic medication.
Yeah.
Something simple as medication, you need sometimes to just show ID. So now I'm really back again on survival mode. Like, okay, I gotta survive while I'm out here. I'm not gonna go back to doing that again, because I know it's gonna leave me back in prison, and I'm definitely not trying to leave Seaport. I need some of that good food. So I know biscuits is different. So I know
rolls is different in the
so now I'm
Seaport.
like, all right, I'm back in that. So that's kind of like been a hurdle, but through that, and I'm like, okay, this is another challenge. I know I'm back on a survival mode, but now I'm like, okay, I have somewhat of a toolbox and being equipped with coping skills and knowing how to, I know a little bit about myself and the direction that I want to go in life. So now having this chief definite aim and purpose, I'm like, I want to do something that's community based. So like I said, I've been working with Springfield, which is a social wellness lab that deals with system affected people. So I've been with them since I've been home. We spoke to the youth. You know, I'm a community support specialist. I work with Haitian migrants that's coming here to Boston and different other places because of the crisis that's going on in Haiti. And I'm helping them deal with the culture of just being in the U.S. and dealing with some of their traumas. And I just been really just staying on the straight and narrow path with higher education as well. I'm trying to get enrolled into Bunker Hill. And my goal now is to get my master's in social work. And that's kind of like what I've been pushing. Despite whatever you want to give me ID, cool. That's not gonna stop me from getting the bag.
That's temporary, yeah.
That's not gonna stop me from getting my bag. And I'm just the wealth. I'm talking about impact. That's what I'm talking about. Making an impact regardless. You put me in Springfield, which is the trenches, which is really not, it's my city. You know, but you put me in an environment that I wasn't even supposed to thrive. I made an impact on the negative sense. Right? So I'm just like, you know what? If I could do it then, there's just common sense. There has to be duality here. I ain't got no ID. Come on, bro. I ain't got no V. I can't drive nowhere. You know, I'm being barred from certain places and buildings. I'm gonna make an impact despite everything you just put against me and not succeed. I know how to do this. I've been here before.
Things are tougher for us sometimes, but you know, we're tougher people, so we can go through it for sure.
So that's definitely my that's what I've been doing up to this point, 9 months, and come see me in 2 more years.
Let's go. What about you? What are your plans moving forward? And what you've been up to since you've been out? I know you guys just you graduated, so that's dope.
Bro, I feel like my whole journey started with like one opportunity, bro. I got out of that halfway house, did my little 6 months there, and then it was like, all right, now I need a job. Like, all right, so I'm running around trying to look for a job. No dice. Like, I'm getting ghosted. I'm like, oh, this is what this feels like. Yeah. I'm like, all right. So then I find this one place. It was like an assisted living place. It was a dishwasher position. I'm like, I'll take anything. I go there. I kick it with the lady. The lady's name is Wendy Miller. And then I kicked it with Wendy. Wendy's like, yo, I got to run a background check. You going to pass? I'm like, hell no. Like, nah. She was like, wow, what happened? I'm like, yo, I did mad time. And then I literally, like in that moment of vulnerability, broke down my whole story to her. Cause I felt comfortable enough like to tell her what was real. And then I gave it to her. She's like, oh, I'm from out here, it's Sudbury. And yo, I know a lot of people out here, I'm gonna get you a job. Nice. Man, the very next day, she sent me to this restaurant like right down the street. I ended up with the job there. Nice. And it was only like, you know, waiters don't get paid that much, but it was like, whatever, I'll take whatever I can get, man. Then people showed me love there. Tara showed me love. I held that job down for a year, bro. And then I started my turn. I'm in my turn. I'm doing these little speaking engagements, getting paid for all that or whatever. And then I learned about North Suffolk through Hillary, and they got a partnership with TUFTS, and then I get hired at North Suffolk. Wow. So now I'm working at a clinic and, you know, dealing with people with mental health and substance abuse issues, and then helping them like find certain resources that they need. And on top of that, I work for TPP. Let's get it. Transformational Prison Project. So awesome. It's like I'm doing all of that, bro. So if I look like I'm tired,
hey, it's all good. It's all good.
I'm definitely in.
What about you? I know it's been what 90 days.
90 days.
You're fresh on, especially after all that time. 90 days.
I've been to it. I think I've been speeding, bro. I came out with only a social security card. They knew I was coming out for a whole year, bro. They were supposed to be in the minimum, and then I made it to a pre-release 3 months before I got out. So I got a job, but bro, and like they still took me in the cheese shop though. That's family, bro. They knew my situation. Like they showed nothing but love. They still support me to this day, bro. Like that's family. Yeah. But it took me 6 weeks to get my birth certificate, my ID, my permit, my L, and I got a car. Hey, so I'm out here just whipping. But in the process, I took 2 classes at Clark University. Finished them.
Nice. And you got your license? You got a car?
Damn. But
there you go.
I just got a job with Transformation Prison Project full time.
Nice.
So that's dope. I was planning on applying for grad school, but I missed a couple of deadlines for some of the schools that I really want to go to. But I'm gonna be applying for either masters in public policy or education. So figure how that goes out. But I'm doing my best, man, just to try to stay present. That's the hardest thing for me right now, just to be present, because I'm always thinking about the past and the future and not realizing, I have to enjoy the moments that are here. I mean, literally the present that's gifted to me. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I forgot to say, they always kill me up because they're like, you be forgetting this. Oh, I'm about to be the second formerly incarcerated person to get admitted in the TUFTS.
Oh yeah, gang.
Fire.
The second person. You know, Junie, David DeValley's the first one.
Yeah,
okay. I'm about to be the second, and it's responsibility that come with that.
We paved the way.
So it's like when you see me out here and you see me repping this, it's because these people show me so much love, bro.
Word. Before I let y'all go, I'm gonna go around if there's anything that you wanted to touch on or didn't get a chance to, some closing words. I'll start with you. Go around.
I mean, I feel like we touched on a lot of things that is really important for us to hear. Just for society, just like, okay, what are these formal incarcerated men up to? What are they doing? Yeah. It's good that for public safety aspects, people that's watching this, they can be like, okay, hold on. There's another side to this story, and maybe they might try to actually advocate for more programming inside of higher education, inside of in prisons. Not only inside of prisons, but actually start putting more communities, putting more funding and resources inside of our communities so we could prevent this school to prison pipeline. Yep. So that's the first group. The second group is our families, man. They get an opportunity to see that You know, we're actually, despite the things that we went through, like, you know, this birth, this birthmark that they gave us, you know, being criminals, we're going against the odds and we're defying the odds, man, and we're actually making them proud, you know. And it's going back to these, and the third group that I would like to, you know, have some words for is the brothers and sisters, man, that's still behind the wall, that's incarcerated, man. And my thing to them is, be bigger than your environment. And that's the words that I could have. Whatever is going on in there, just be bigger than that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo, Iris Weaver, Maura Ferguson, Hillary Bender, like,
Talk that talk.
Who else? Those is like the main people. Those are the
big
main
salute to
people.
them.
Yo, Tufts University, EPI, the Brook House. Shout out to the Brook House.
Hey.
North Suffolk Community Services. Shout out to North Suffolk. Justice for Housing. Like all of that, bro. That's the coalition,
Let's
bro.
go.
That's the coalition that been holding down this whole reentry process. So
Word.
it's like, yo, those are the ones I show the most love for, man. All these
Can't forget
people.
TDP now.
Yeah, all these people that just been so instrumental in this success. Like, yo, I couldn't have got this far without them. Wendy, Tara, Amanda, like all of them. Bridge, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all these people, bro. All these people got us this far, bro. All these people got me far.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
now I'm just grateful. No one is truly defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. That's a fact, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now final words, man. I would just like to thank all the people that got me here, man. I love them all to death, man.
Yeah.
There's so many names, bro. Like, but I just want to say though that, yo, we're not the exception. We're the fucking norm.
Right.
You know what
I
I
like
mean?
it.
People want to think like, yo, they look at them, they're doing this and that. There's a fucking gang of us out here that are doing this, bro. We're not being as seen as we should be. But we're putting ourselves out there.
Absolutely.
We're making fucking noise. You know what I mean? The volume might be low right now, but that shit about to be turned the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you helping us.
Absolutely.
So I
They
truly
won't be able to
appreciate you,
ignore it.
bro, because at the end of the day, you know how it is to be this, and you have people that are your heart, that are still there, bro, fighting to come out and keeping their sanities, bro. And it's you that are helping them. No matter what it is, and you don't think you are, bro, you're helping them, bro. But every single phone call, every single thought you have of them, bro, they feel that shit. Through the airwaves, the energy, bro, is there. So at the end of the day, bro, love is love, man. At the end of the day, man, just
This
always
one
know,
right
though.
here gonna go crazy.
It's good to be heard. And I guess just if you want to put your social media out there, Instagram, you can go around and do that too if you want people to follow.
Yeah, please, you can follow me at Swinks Laporte on IG, Facebook, Twitter. Swinks Laporte is all over it.
Okay.
How you
Again,
spell it?
SWINKS Laporte, LAPRT.
That's it. And I'll link it too in the description. Go ahead, break it down for them.
Stonecatcher 147 on Instagram. If you don't know what Stonecatchers mean, then go look it up or something.
Misunderstood don't gotta be
Look
said.
it up, man. Like, oh, what the hell is that, man? Stonecatcher 147 on Instagram. Stonecatcher 45 on TikTok if you want to hear some real rap.
Let's go.
Real rap. Hey, yeah, man, that's it.
That's it.
Braze the Afterlife on almost every single platform, so just hit me.
Word. And I'm B. Luke. And guys, this is the Bounce Back Podcast. Remember, it is what it is. What's next is what you make it. On that note, thanks again, guys, and we out of here. Peace.
Bounce back, ain't got a moment when they see you down this